Hello. Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you come from if you're watching this video. Uh, well, I decided to do another interesting look on why people pocket and penis watch men when it comes to certain type of men, particularly black men. What's up with that? And even sometimes some people, even with some black women, that they choose to find somebody outside their usually comfort zone and mate with somebody. You have people who are not mature enough to understand that when you interact with other people, it's just a fact of life. You find you have something more common with the skin, deeper. But in any case, here's a couple videos, and then I'll get back on my commentary.
Want to discover Ohio liquor? Chances are you already have. Because this moment, brought to you by Ohio.
So you got one of the sisters that feel that she has the answer as to why a lot of athletes, whether they football, basketball, run track, etc., definitely brothers, why they get with white women.
Let me tell y'all why these mainstream athletes are always dating or marrying these white women. A lot of the times, these mainstream athletes don't always be at HBCUs, okay?
That part is true.
They be at colleges such as Kentucky, Notre Dame, Alabama, which are all predominantly white, okay? So when they at these colleges, and you have so many white people, and then you have this amount of black people that have all came up from the same roots, the same struggle, all that type of stuff, as you are not there here. So when you have these white women that meet these black men in college, they're nurturing, they do their homework, they make sure you eat, they be having cars, they do all of that or whatnot. And these men, they build these relationships with these women, okay? And it goes from there. So when they get drafted, all that type of stuff in the NFL, NBA, MLB, whatever, okay? They take them women with them because they actually fell in love with them.
Well, if you know the cheat code, and a lot of the women know the cheat code, the women can observe what these other women doing, and they say, "Oh, that's what they doing? Okay, well, shoot. Well, if you know the cheat code, why don't you use it? Why don't you be the one that's up there when he's getting drafted in the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball? Why aren't you there? If you know what the cheat code is, you say, oh, that's what she's doing? Oh, I'm about to do the same thing. And I'm going to do it way better than her anyway. Because I have the home field advantage, I know him. I know black men. I know what they like. I know what they don't like too. So that's something she don't have. She may come in being more nurturing and all of that. You can do the same thing times 10. You will remind them of their grandmother they love so much. She don't remind them of their grandma, but you would, based on how you treat them, do the exact same thing, and you get the same results. Listen, I've learned that in business. Look at the people who are successful at something, study what they're doing, and see if you can replicate that model in your own way to apply what you're doing. It's not that hard, but it's like you see maybe the model to get, to be successful in something, and you just dismiss it and keep doing what you're already doing. And I'm a firm believer if you're doing something and it's not getting a positive result or getting what you want listening to somebody else, maybe you need to try something else. Listen, and I know some of them will get mad at me when I say this. Maybe you need to pull Becky to the side and get some game from her, what she's doing. Get it. Ask. Why not? Because the instruction that you got was wrong. And you will end up like Ebony K. Williams, over 40, realizing you made a mistake. And you should have got married back in college. It's just that simple. I ain't got no problem asking a man anything. I don't care what color the man is. I've asked men of all races different questions over the years of my life and got great advice from men of all races.
Me too.
Do not be ashamed to ask a question if you don't have an answer to something.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But let's continue.
So a lot of times you cannot fault them for them being there for them at their lowest points of time, instead of actually us being, as African American women, being there for the guys as well, because we came from the same position. So stop being on social media being racist.
Now, I think, in my opinion, that it's a shame that if Becky could swoop in with the last thing she just said. You grew up together, you went to school together, struggled together, we have a shared history together. So no other group of women should be able to swoop in and get any brother like that. It comes from the bad advice that the old women continually give the young ones. The bad advice of it's okay to be a baby mama and not a wife. The bad advice saying, oh, you young, you should just have fun and all of that. That bad advice. Oh, you have time. You don't have time. Oh, you can get married in your 30s. It's okay. Your 20s for you. Your 30s, your 30s, your egg production start tanking every year in your 30s. Then it won't be too long. In a few years, you'll be going through menopause. Why you want to wait that long? That doesn't make sense. That's the wrong advice. Get your husband in your prime, in your 20s. Get him in college, like Ebony told y'all to do. It doesn't make sense for Becky to be able to swoop in and constantly keep doing that when y'all know what to do to get these men. That's the thing. Y'all know what to do to get these men. And Becky will morph into y'all. Black women, they'll morph into you. If that's what that brother likes, she will literally morph into her own version of a black woman. How many times y'all seen that?
They sure will.
They get with a brother.
They sure will.
And they get morphed into a black girl. Literally. Because that's what he likes originally. So he say, hey, if I'm not a black girl, but I'll be the closest thing I can to you. She'll start tanning a little more and wearing the braids and please.
Yep, that's what they do.
When Becky's on a mission, she is going to complete all the side quests to complete the mission too.
Right. Right.
Y'all don't know how determined Becky is when she see that bag about to get put up there.
Oh,
y'all
it's a video on that
do
one.
what y'all need to do. Get these brothers, and rest assured, the brothers are more attracted and want to be with the black woman. It's true.
Boom.
So if you don't see them doing it, then it's more to it than just looks.
Boom. That's true.
But let me know what y'all think what this sister's talking about. Just let me know.
And not only that women in their 20s, and when it comes to having children, it probably be a lot easier on them than in your 30s and your 40s having children. I mean, body-wise, because I think you can probably endure the youth and the pain more sustainable than someone's probably older. That's just my opinion. But hey. But anyway, we have another interesting character that keeps chiming on this topic.
Amid global market volatility,
Even
stock market losses
have
and
a
rising
relationship
inflation
himself.
have left investors with few
But he got a relationship
options.
with everybody else.
Ground Floor is here to...
Oh, it's good, everybody. It's your boy,
Shout out to that channel too.
Shane Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Dr. Umar Johnson recently weighed in on the Terrell Owens situation, and he did so by pretty much hitting the point that black men who choose white women for the fact that they got mistreated by black women when they're younger, for those black men who go on to do that, it's a bad excuse. Okay, it's weak. And basically black men, have to understand that black women, just like them, have been taught to hate themselves and all of that. But that's not a good excuse to go out here and start Becky hopping, as he said. Now, what I'd like to do is to play this clip, and we'll come back to analyzing.
But Terrell Owens has said this, Childish Gambino has said this, tons of other black men, be they professional, celebrity, or just everyday, hard-working black men. Many black men have argued the reason that they are bunny hopping. many black men have argued the reason that they are bunny hopping. I don't know if Shannon Sharp would be included in that. I don't know if Shannon said that he didn't get attention from black women younger in life or not. I don't know. That's what you guys are posting now. But no matter who said it, no matter who said it, no matter when they said it, no matter where they said it, I want any black man who wants to use the excuse that the reason you're dating white women now, the reason you are bunny hopping, the reason you are bunny hopping in your 40s is because you got rejected by black girls in your teenage years. That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. So you're bunny hopping with white women in your 40s because you got turned down from sisters in your 20s. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. So you're telling me that you're suffering from post-traumatic rejection disorder. That's what you're telling me. Terrell Owens, you suffer from post-traumatic rejection disorder. That's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me. So since the black girls didn't like you in elementary school, you bunny hopping with white women in your 40s. Since black girls didn't like you in high school, you bunny hopping with white girls in your 50s. Because black women rejected you in college, you're now bunny hopping with white women in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. That's an excuse. Black men, that's an excuse. Stop using black women as an excuse for your bunny hopping. Stop using black women as an excuse for your bunny hopping. Let's look at all the rejection we get from white folks. Let's draw a parallel here. Let's draw a psychological parallel. Look at all the rejection black people suffer at the hands of white people. We get mistreated in white people's restaurants, but yet we still go back. We get mistreated in white people's shopping centers, and yet we still go back. We get mistreated in white people's grocery stores, and yet we still go back. We get mistreated at white people's universities, and yet we still go back. We get mistreated in white people's neighborhoods, and yet we still go back. We get mistreated on white people's jobs, and yet we do not quit the job. So you mean to tell me, when white people mistreat you, it's okay to go back to them? When white people undermine you, it's okay to go back to them? When white people marginalize you, it's okay for you to go back to white people? But because black girls suffering from the same self-hatred you suffer from, because black girls suffering from the same self-hatred you suffer from, rejected you, teased you, and ignored you in 6th and 7th grade. Let me make sure I understand this. Because teenage black girls bullied and teased you in high school, you're going to use that as an excuse for why you're bunny hopping in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. Get your ass up out of here with that. Get your ass up out of here with that. And I'm not directing this to Terrell Owens per se. It's funny, I'm talking about Terrell Owens and I got on Eagles green right now.
But yet here's a guy ain't married, but you see Phil is married. Umar is married. With Umar have children and is out of wedlock, giving advice to men who, just in his opinion, for the community, but he don't have a nuclear family that make up the nuclear family of the community. But you gonna listen to a man that don't follow what he preaches. That makes a lot of sense. And again, some black women been hurt, and they do the same thing and marry other different men and date and whatever. It's a choice. I don't see why he sees the bigger picture, but he seems to pander to low-minded
Every part
people.
of you is connected, so the way you care for your health should be too.
Instead of
Whether
hearing
you
the
need
whole
primary
picture.
care, mental health support.
And you're on the right path. I know I've experienced this, me guys experience this.
Hold on.
Tell their stories. But just recently, a lot of black men have started to tell their stories. We've started to open up and, say what we want to say. Because a lot of times, black men are not heard. A lot of times, black men, suppress their feelings on how they feel because it goes in one ear and out the other, and nobody's paying attention.
That's true.
But because of social media, and we have social media, so we have men talking about different things and sharing different things and experiences. Now it's open now, and everybody can see it. You know what I mean? So now it's a discussion, and whereas women would ignore it or wouldn't hear it, now they're able to hear it because a lot of women are on manosphere stations, where men are getting together talking about different things. A lot of women are on those platforms listening, basically. And this just was a situation where he's talking to another brother talking about his experience with dating black women. This is an experience that most American black men go through, with dating a black woman, especially in America, with their entitlement, and you have to make a certain amount of money, you have to be in a certain position, and unfortunately, we have a lot of colorism in the black community. If you're too dark,
yes,
I don't want you, especially growing up, because from the time that he was growing up, light-skinned men were the thing, and this is the truth. From the time he was growing up, it was all about getting with a light-skinned man. Now, all of a sudden, you have women who say, I love a tall, dark-skinned dude. This is what they're saying
That's
now.
True.
But it wasn't like
That's
that.
True. That's
50
true.
years ago, 40 years ago, it wasn't like that.
That's true.
Everybody wanted a half-breed or a light-skinned dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, growing up being dark, he went through a lot. And he expressed this. A lot of girls didn't want me. They were always saying how dark I was skinny, even in college, where you can clearly see that he's in college and he's doing something for himself. He's trying to make a way for himself.
Right.
This is also very important. And I think that a lot of you brothers who were in college, I was in college in the 90s and the 2000s, this is very similar to what I've experienced, because even at HBCUs, you would find a lot of black men at HBCUs. They could talk about the ratios all the time. You have a lot of black women there in comparison to the men, but the reality is a lot of women didn't even want the men at HBCUs, especially at Howard University. A lot of those ladies were spending their time, if they weren't dating Qs or something like that, the guys in the fraternities, they would be dating guys that were drug dealers or guys who were off campus. So this is something that's important, even if you're a black man and you're on the right path. I know I've experienced this, many guys experience this. It's not, it's not a ticket for you to be like, okay, I'm gonna get a black woman now because I'm in college, right? So, and not that it should, but you would think that it would, at least let a woman know you're on the right path. But let's continue.
Way for himself, he was still overlooked. He was still talked about. He was still clowned. Now, it's funny because I'm listening to a lot of, some of these females, and I'm reading a lot of the comments, and who hurt, it's the same typical bullshit. Who hurt him, and why does he have to attack all black women? It wasn't all black women that did this to him. Well, for him, it was. For him, it was all black women. Whether we can easily play that game and say, well, he didn't date the whole world, he didn't date all black women. We can easily say that bullshit. But the reality is, where he comes from, it was majority of the black women that were on that bullshit.
Okay.
And it's the truth. For him, that's his truth. Now, we can argue now that he's rich, that he's making all this money, and now he has a nice body, and now black women love tall, dark men. That, well, why wouldn't he date a black woman? He's insecure. That's another word that they like to use. It has nothing to do with him being insecure. He's just getting in where he can fit in. I don't understand why a lot of women like to just continuously shame, black women in particular, like to continuously shame black men, even though he's telling you, this is the reason why I don't date y'all. So instead of changing that and teaching your daughters to quit doing dumb shit like that, because they potentially messing up their own opportunity from a good man that would swoop them up because
Yes.
most black men want to be with black women, ladies.
Yes.
It's a very true statement there. I would agree.
Most black men want to be with black women.
I said that.
That's a fact.
That's true.
But with this whole, well, I ain't dating him, he's a scrub, and they always want to go out there just getting thugs and motherfuckers that's in prison
Yep.
and in the jail system. They want to go after those type of dudes.
Yeah.
So now that he's established, he's a star, he's this, he's that, he's making all this money. Now all of a sudden, he's the one with the problem because he doesn't want to date black women.
My doctor told us about GoodRx to help us save money on our prescriptions.
Did you know that people? He's the one with the problem because he doesn't want to date black women. And he's blatantly coming out and vocalizing saying, yo, I only date, white women. I only date white women because, unfortunately, they make me feel better. I just, bond better with them.
To be fair, Terrell Owens said,
Yeah.
and he might be just using as an example, Terrell Owens did say that while it doesn't deter him, his experience with black women from dating black women, he also leaves it open, right? So basically, he's looking for certain characters, certain qualities, so he doesn't discount black women from whatever's happened in the past, but at the same time, he is an equal opportunist in so many words.
And that seems odd coming from a dark-skinned black man saying something like that. That he bonds, that he gets better treatment from a white woman. Honestly, I can see how that can make black women feel a certain way. Cause I'm a dude, and that makes me feel some kind of way. Like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. But the reality is, he's telling his truth.
Right.
He's just being constantly dogged out. And I have to tell you, just in my life, you know what I'm saying? Even now, most black women will walk right past me, don't even speak. Most black women, even if I did try to holler at them or whatever, I just know better than that bullshit now to even try to do some shit like that. But even if you were to do that, even at the time that I were to do that, I was looked at as a scrub. Even though I'm a motherfucker working every day, I always had a job. I always was working. You know what I'm saying? I've always made above minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? I've always, had good jobs and did what I needed to do. But black women, it was always the other races of women who gravitated towards me the most. It's always the other races of women.
Right.
Even now, that's just the way it works for me. It's the Indian.
So, me being a pro-black and being all about all black everything, one of the things we can never do is discount the black man's experience. And a lot of things that he is saying, I've experienced. I grew up in Sacramento, a very multicultural, interracial, dating sort of city. And it's not uncommon to find a lot of this. Most of my friends that were black, that were men, that went to professional school, I was a bio major, I went to medical school, a lot of my buddies went to dental school. Only one of them married a black lady. All the others have women of other races. And of course, being a hardworking black man, it's like you almost have to be very exceptional to get what you're trying to get in the black community. You're from a decent woman. I'm not saying that it is the case, but it seems like it's the case. And obviously it depends on what city you live in. If you live in Atlanta, Memphis, Houston, that might be a little bit different. But coming from the West Coast, I can really see where it's coming from. But a lot of these black men are going through these experiences. It's not just African American men that talk about this. It's men from Africa, men from the Caribbean. It's also very common to them. Okay, so let's continue to listen.
It's the Indian woman, or the Latina woman, or the white woman that is Googling INFP. It's the black woman with an attitude, walking right past me, not wanting to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's them.
What you want, Negro?
It's the black woman that does this to men, but because he's in a position where he's making money, for some reason, black women seem to think that he's obligated
Right.
to swoop up a black woman.
Right.
Now that he's in the position that black women want to see black men in,
Right.
which is making more money than them, so they can live that soft life
Right.
and take advantage of a man.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
it's his obligation
Exactly.
to get a woman who looks like his mom and looks like his sister, and because now that's self-hatred. That
Exactly.
He doesn't want to be with a black woman. It's not self-hatred, because he still could be pro-black and still.
With JP Morgan Wealth Plan,
Oh, man,
faraway
he's telling the
goals
truth.
are closer than you think, like a lakeside retirement. Simply set your goals, track, and adjust. Wealth Plan, free in the Chase mobile app. JP Morgan Wealth Management offers investment products and services through JP Morgan Securities LLC, member FINRA SIPC.
Stop the commercial.
Hey sis, you my sister, because now he has put most of you black women in the sister zone. And that's what a lot of y'all are upset about. But y'all didn't even place him in the friend zone. Y'all just said,
Well, I disagree with him right there. You can't be pro-black and date non-black. You can be a black community ally, but I don't agree with that part. But I get what he's trying to say. He can still be respectful and love black people, but pro-blacks are a different breed. Pro-blacks deal with all black everything. You can't be lukewarm with it, but I get what the brother's trying to say. I definitely see what he's trying to say.
y'all just said, don't with me, get away from me, you up. That's
Yep.
what y'all said to him.
Yep.
That's what y'all said to him. Now he's saying, look, sis, I love my black women. I love y'all, but I can't date y'all. Because the type of attitudes that y'all have don't fare well with mine.
Right.
It don't fare well with me.
Right.
But for some strange reason, that's an issue for black women.
That's true.
Because they all on social media clowning him. Instead of trying to fix the problem, they're making it worse by clowning him even more.
Exactly.
Which you're proving the freaking point.
Let me kind of talk about that. One of the things that I feel like as black men, and I will have one criticism of this, which I believe he's correct. Black men really have to focus on, like I said, firstly helping each other. This is the main thing.
That's true.
A lot of black men are out here, by themselves, working by themselves, and because as men, we don't have no trust with each other. We can't really build communities and things where we would set the tone and the tonality to be productive men, to be able to say, okay, listen, we have women in our community that, we're doing things for, or, for each other, and, we have these things going on, and you'd be surprised at how many women would want to come in. And I think that a lot of black men haven't looked at it that way. But I'm telling you, if black men come together and just start to work together on certain things, a lot of women would have to change to be in that community. And it's really just that simple. But because, a lot of black men, have a distrust, and I'm not trying to put it on black men, but I'm just saying, here's what you can do. Because if you do that, the women that don't want to be there will not be there. A lot of that, not speaking and not having, whatever, that wouldn't be allowed if you had black men that, had, 5 or 10 brothers that was doing something and stuff like that. Women that come into your community would not be.
Let me interrupt right here. I understand what O'Shea is saying, but reality, some black women have a stubborn ass attitude. They're way gone with it. I'm sorry, you can't tell them nothing. They will try to argue your point down, say that you're weak, you're lame, and they're ones that do. But you get the opposite side, because some black women, like this young lady, prefer
Amid
other
global market
men.
volatility, stock market
There are
losses,
black
and
women
rising
going
inflation
through the
have
same
left investors with few
opposite.
options.
Because
Investing
some
in real
black
estate
men
debt
have
on
kind of
ground floor
dogged them
provides
out
a low-risk
to the
way
point
to earn
that
high
they
yields
go
and earn
doing the same
consistent
thing.
double-digit cash
So
returns.
they disassociate themselves from black men. So now what? So why is it always coming at the men? That's what I'm saying. Why is it always this coming at the men? When you clearly have women saying this that said this. What's this?
I want y'all to see what K. Michelle had to say. Y'all, look at that headline. Try it out. K. Michelle sparks debate online after declaring her love for white men. I want y'all to understand that this mentally ill black woman who's never been in a relationship with a white man that we know of publicly. Maybe she was in one privately because, you know, that's the only way these guys will date these women. You know? And yo, look at the caption on this photo, family. K. Michelle says she no longer desires a relationship, but she loves her a white man. She's never been in a relationship with a white man. Y'all see what I'm talking about here? The mental illness, the worship. Look at the worship. How can you worship something that has never shown you an ounce of respect? Okay? Who are not going to save you when you're in issues. Y'all know what's really interesting? I've seen white men put hands on black women. I've seen Arab men put hands and feet on black women. Asian men put hands and feet on black women. I did a live stream when I talked about this black woman having I think an alcoholic drink thrown in her face by this Asian guy at this bar. I mean, black women are getting no respect from non-black men, but here they are worshiping them. This woman has never, she has never had a public relationship with a white man ever. That's just like me. I've never dated a white woman, but I'm declaring my love for white women. How does that even sound? Why would I declare my love for something I've never dated? This is the majority of melanated women. And they wonder why black men are going overseas and saying to hell with these heifers. Look at their mentality. What's good, Swing Guy? I didn't see your name. Look at the mentality. I've told y'all about the worship. The worship is very deep in these heifers. It's very deep. Look at the psychology. How can you declare your love for something that you never publicly dated, that never publicly shown you any love? This is mental illness. This is hate.
Yes.
How can you declare your love for something that never showed you love back? But this is your westernized black woman, and this is one of the reasons why black men are going overseas. They're sick of your shit. They are. There's no excuse for this. And this is why these men are going overseas. And they're getting their passports and they're going overseas. And y'all tried to slander these men. Y'all tried to disrespect them. But then you got K. Michelle basically justifying why these men are going overseas. She's justified it. She has justified why there's a passport bro culture. According to Yahoo, vocalist K. Michelle is promoting the release of her new album, I'm the Problem, as she continues to unpack her bold and honest truth. She was most recently featured as a guest on Revolt TV's Black Girl Stuff, where she spoke about relationships and dating outside her race, which sparked outrage online. During the interview, one of the four hosts, Akila, asked why she views herself as a problem, which K. Michelle believes came from setting boundaries or saying no if it doesn't feel right. I'm gonna be the problem because I'm gonna be the solution for myself. The outspoken artist continued, you're not gonna make me do nothing that I'm gonna have to deal with at home, and I dealt with that in reality TV. But when it comes to men and dating, the former Love and Hip Hop cast member said relationships, I'm not doing that because I'm just not doing, I'm sick of it, I'm sick, I'm not doing relationships at all. Well, you are right about the sick part. I think you are sick, and I do think you need
psychological help, K. Michelle. I really do. Another host, Bree Renee, then chimed in, reminding K. Michelle that she said she would date a white man. Of course, you got one of these divestors, because every show with black women got to have at least one divester, right? She said that she loves a white man. Said Drake would love her. Recording artist. How do you word this? She says that she never had a white man. That's Bree Renee. She said, well, you need to try.
I'm gonna stop it right. But here's another thing that some women said.
Hey, this is Raul of Please Act Right. I did cover this video before, but we got some new people chiming in. So to all the black women out there asking, why are they the only race of women being asked by black men to help them build? This video is for you.
Why are black women the only group that's being asked to build men up financially? Like, I just really want men to drop down in the comments and help me understand this, because I don't hear my white brothers, I don't hear my Asian brothers, the Latin brothers, I don't hear my Indian or Arab kings out here asking their woman to build them up financially. I don't hear.
I will definitely not aim this towards all black women, because I know there are a lot of traditional black women that are out there. But I do not agree with this woman at all. Hear me out. I am a sales consultant for a luxury car brand, and I sell cars to all walks of life, all different types of cultures, ethnicities, all different types of people. All different types. And the reason why a lot of those men who are from different cultures, who are very traditional, do not have to ask their women for any type of help is because their women do it willingly.
I hear my Indian or Arab kings out here asking their woman to build them up financially. I don't hear it.
So this post is to my fellow African American women who feel the same way as this woman does. I work around a lot of foreign people, a lot of foreign families. I work around Indians, I work around Africans and Koreans and Romanians and Hispanic families. And one thing that I can tell you with confidence is 99.99% of African American women could not, would not, and is not capable of being the type of woman and playing the role that women play in their families within these cultures.
And we know she's telling the truth, because black women in record numbers on videos are saying that they won't accept a coffee date. So you know they're not going to help a black man build.
I had sold this doctor a car, okay? I believe he was a neurosurgeon or something of that nature. And he also did real estate. The guy made a lot of money. So I wanted some advice, and I asked him, different tips he can help me on, because I was a marketer. So after we talked, he literally told me, he said, the reason why I am where I am today is because of my wife. As his wife sat across him, he told me that when he was in med school, when he was trying to get better at real estate and all these different things, his woman held him down. She made most of the money at that time. He didn't want for anything. He did the best he could to help support himself just as much as his relationship with his woman. Because of her, it helped elevate him to being in the position that he is now as a neurosurgeon, and also him being really good in real estate, which gives them the riches that they have today. And what if I told you that that same woman is in the medical field and makes over $500,000 a year? Like, the woman was a straight boss.
You're such a good listener, Thomas. It makes me feel so special.
You are special. If you don't mind, if you could just...
This makes me feel really special.
So, you hear, I had to play a couple short clips on the content creator video, but see, women say stuff they sell. They mention that. And then it goes back to why the Terrell Owens and other men pick other women. It's coming out of their mouths. They coming out of their mouths, and the women that come to the video and clowning, and you have silly men like Umar Johnson trying to justify and pander to them. This the reason why. They telling you, but some of these women don't listen. But they don't listen. They just, it ain't no excuse. It ain't no excuse. Okay. That's why the men got frustrated and left. Because you're not listening. You're not truly listening with your heart. You're listening with your head, but you're not listening with your heart. And that's the reason why. And it's fair to say that it can go back and forth like some. And again, there are some black women that are dating outside, people keep leaving that point out. There are black women are married and dating outside their race in record numbers. Trust me, you have commercials promoting it. That the black man, if they show a black man, he's with the white man. Fact. Number two, you rarely see a black couple once in a while, but majority of your commercials on TV. So it's even psychologically embedded into when they show interracial couple, they show a black woman with a white man, light skin, brown skin, dark skin, like a bitch English, whatever. It's like she come. Look at your commercials next time. It's being put in your face. It's being put in your face as far as the soap opera. It's being put in your face that as far as the movies. It's being put in your face. So don't tell me that this is happening, because it's all around. But no one isn't raising a stink about it. No one even doing anything. And first of all, people, whether they're black men or black women, they're not who most of them in a relationship are ignoring, and they just put out their mind because wherever their association of friends and association of who it don't affect them. It affects some people, but it don't affect them. Sometimes they're not on social media, and if they are, they sit back in the clouds and thinking it's all stupid because it don't affect their family life. And so it all depends. But one thing about black people as a whole need to listen. When someone telling you something, stop trying to degrade them and put them down. Whether it's a black man telling you a story, there's a black woman telling you a story. That's the reason why. But it's like it's got to be on the man. Oh, you ain't wimpy enough. Oh, you ain't this enough. Oh, you square. You lame. Okay, you to call them all these names. What did it do? What did it solve? Okay, he's square. He lame. He look goofy. He look lame. He look slow. Now what? But apparently he wasn't too slow to get this other woman. See, it's the words that you say. And ignorant people like Umar don't understand this. It's the words that you say. You say these words. It's not going to make people feel guilty and come back to the black community. And if they do, I ain't going to take you back. I've heard black people say that. I ain't taking you back. You been with them other people. Now what? But maybe they want to have a heart to come back and at some point help out black people. See, some black people don't think about that. They let their head, they let their pride and they stubborn. But yet, you're going to listen to advice to people who haven't been in a loving nuclear family relationship, but they telling you how to get a person, but not keep them. Think about that for a second. Would not listen to a person who's married? If it's a black man, listen to a black woman who's married to a black woman, how to stay into a stable relationship. Why I'm listening to a man that is Papa was a Rolling Stone, but he's trying to flirt with everything from Arizona to Maine and around the world. Saying why would you listen to something like that? Why would you ain't trying to wife up or nothing? Why are you trying to? And so if you decide to make a family, children, that young boys and young girls, future young black girls or black boys can see the example. Because they're looking at everything you do. That's why people have children, because they're witnessing what you do, because they're going to repeat the same pattern. So it all comes back to them. See, it's easy for someone to sit back there and chastise somebody, but what are they doing? What are they? And so what? If they met them in college, and like he said, this was his experience, and like I said, it can go both ways, both men and women. But it's like, let me disregard your pain. Your excuse is no pain. What you went through is irrelevant. Your testimony is irrelevant. But yet, and they supposed to go with that. That's their personal testimony. It's a site. Well, whatever person of that race that they met, they were nice to them. They loved them. As a person should love a person. Too bad some of us, as group don't love each other as a group and don't accept the individual characteristic of a person that's in the group. See, we got an image, and like the guy was saying, the colorism part, you know, oh, you nerdy part, but you don't know maybe that guy's a nerd, can be one time be multi-billionaire. Why is he married to a white woman? Well, he was told he was a nerd in college. She was told that she was lame and geeky in college. Now she's married to a multi-billionaire. Oh, they sell out now. Oh, really? When's the last time your low-minded cognac reefer smoking behind did anything? What have you done? What have you done but sit back and all these people talking stuff, but they ain't built nothing. So that's what they do. And listen, man, and for the people and God bless the people that do come back and help out other black people, that they have a stable relationship. God bless them for the ones that do. But for the ones that don't, it is what it is. That's how the way life is. I mean, we in the United States, some people have choices to marry and date who they want to be in a relationship, involved. It's nothing you can do but shaming somebody and making somebody feel inadequate about this stuff. It ain't gonna solve the problems. It ain't gonna make them change their minds. And people like Umar, even though he's been all over the damn world, he's still you see he keep you simple-minded. He's seen the world. He's been to different places. He documents everything he does. He documents. He would document his personal life. So why is it people talk about his business? Well, the man put his business online. And even when Leonard Arnold even showed that with his own personal stuff. So now what? So how can he tell you something when he don't practice what he preaches? How can someone, just because they give you a little truth here, there's a lot of people in marketing that you see who are scammers. They can talk a good game. Then you find out like in business, they weren't really about nothing. They just talk. They got a good mouthpiece. See, somebody is not just gonna be a mouthpiece. They're gonna do what they say they're gonna do. They're doing it, and they ain't gotta put others below them just to make a talking points. But at the same time, they're not living by the solution that they can give you. That's the truth. And the reason why those men, because hey man, you get tired of someone beating you up after a while. And that's why maybe some brothers that got their passports and left this country, because they got tired of getting beat up. Getting tired of, you ain't black enough. You got to come back and put up with this nonsense and wait till you get 50, 60 years old with a high blood pressure of 190, 80, with stress and the rest, and going to an early grave. Or be up and be on the streets with your mind halfway gone. But you black though. But these same people ain't gonna help you out. This is what they're trying to avoid. This is reality. This is happening to people. People have had a breakdown. People go through depression. People go through suicide. And sometimes it's the people around you that present that. But you gotta be strong. You gotta be black. You gotta be this. You gotta be that. You don't know what the individual gotta go through. And by beating someone down, it ain't doing no good. Why you go? Why? Because someone told him you're not qualified to be with me. You have to entertain ignorance to be with me, and that's what some women have told men. You have to entertain ignorance for me to respect you. You have to be part of this culture to respect you. You gotta smoke weed and drink cognac and talk and cuss and act a fool on me for respect you. That's the truth. And clown and everything when we respect you. But if you don't act in this certain way, you have other people who don't think you're not black enough. It ain't the white people saying it. Some other black people telling you this. But when you decide, because you kept the morals and standard integrity of which was put into you, whether you're a black man or black woman, black folks would be the first one to give you that instant and clown on you. Which part of it is from the past, from the slave plantation, simply because they were jealous and they were envious. So that's the reason why they do it. You're doing the same thing that generations of your family did other people. Well, I don't know why. It'd be the same thing. It'd be someone who was born in the world light skinned, and you get somebody. Oh, it was someone dark skinned. And the first thing they do, they start picking on their skin color. Oh, you gonna get a better job because she light skinned. Oh, you gonna. And you got to hear this among black people first, knowing that just because you light skinned, them white people don't care. They still call you the N word. What, you a light N word? I mean, some things we say and think, we do this to each other. And so a lot of times, some black people, maybe in that sense, cut themselves off and go to mainstream other societies. And when they get outside the United States, they ain't bombarded with that stuff. This is what the hood is. You got, and you go back to the same hood, whatever your town, your state. These Negroes are doing the same damn thing since the 1980s, 1970s, 80s. They ain't doing nothing but talking about same old crap, And you choose to elevate your mind and elevate your life and elevate what God intended you to be. But you have your own people will try to curse you, put curses on you to keep you bound with words. You understand what I'm saying? The Most High God never intended you to be bound because you're black. He didn't keep you in an inward state in your mind. That's something that you do that. That and some other people put on other people because that they can't relate to that. And so if you dare to be a black man or a black woman to be set apart to be different, something wrong with you. You speak the proper English, something wrong with you. You decide to do something better, and you might not like to do what some people do. Cut up and cuss up and smoke weed all day and illicit sex all day with somebody. Cuss and fight all day. Have the police coming out to the doggone property 5 times a day because some Negroes out there shoot, arguing, and fighting. Arguing, fighting, and then that's what it leads to. 9 chances out of 10, that's what it comes down to. Then you say, what started all this mess? And acting like a fool. And we know somebody even in our family or someone next door in the hood have done the same damn thing. But when you dare to think something outside something, black people will be the first one to tell you. You get it before your own, before you get it from other people. So when you decide that's why there's passport bros. I bet you that's one of the main reasons why. And if someone's a passport, tell me if I'm lying. Tell me if I'm lying. You go back to they doing the same stuff, and they keep you idle mind. So when you decide to take your stuff, and then when you try to come and trying to bring the plan with them, they talk it down. You try to show them the right way to come up. They can't do it because they got the negritude mindset. It's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. So maybe when it comes to the women, and then some black women are attracted to that too, because in their mind that's part of black culture. And then some black men, and the reason why sometimes some black women don't carry themselves like a typical sassy, argumentative, because they toxic woman, because it's the same thing. That's not what I'm used to. That ain't black culture. Before we even so when you put this ignorant stuff on TV, on talk show, that's what the world see. Oh, that's what it's like to be around the black Americans. See, and why do you look at us like that? Because you got some fool clowning. So, and it's a damn shame, but the media capitalizes on that stuff. It is what it is. And so nobody like to talk about this topic. But yeah, the reason why is because what do you do when someone tell you lame, you square? But you could be a lame, square looking dude in the States, but if you go over there, you never know. You might find somebody that might not find you lame. Ain't nobody saying some stuff. Oh, you a black American, you lame. You ain't hood, you ain't Negro enough for me. You don't hear that stuff over there. But you might not even hear it on the continent of Africa. But why in the States you do? So that's why some black men are going out. Just like any other men. But we get the worst. Because we don't fit a certain stereotype. Not just by white people, but by some black people. And we don't like to talk about this. No. Sometimes it comes back to us. What the words that we say to one another. That's why. And you dare to think something, believe and think something bigger than yourself. You being too good. You got the crabs in the barrel. And I ain't mad at the brothers for going out overseas. Just because I've never been overseas, I ain't gonna pull you down because you going overseas. You found a way out and use your mind and put it to and worked hard and put the effort. Well, I'm gonna hate on you for something. If anything, I can learn and listen from you instead of getting all up in my ego like a Umar Johnson. Ain't gonna tell you something. Ain't gonna bring something to educate your mind. Tell you something, but it's not gonna bring some solution to your problem right now. Realistic problem. Tell you how to beat all this and have all this, but you telling me, but show me how to get away. Give me the blueprint how to get away from the white people. Since you, what about that? But all right then, ladies and gentlemen, you guys be blessed. So next time, take care.